This binder is 4 inches thick. If you want a frame of reference, that is thicker than the typical Pokemon booster box. Inside are my Neo through EX series sets. Yeah. So today I'm going to show off my Neo series sets, which goes through Legendary Collection just because I don't know where else to put it. So here we go. Starting with the holos that I have, only missing 3 on this page, which isn't too bad. And of course, unfortunately, on the next page, I only have 1 holo. It just went through the ring there. There we go. I actually had to restart this video over because the pages were just getting through these rings too easily, so I was like, nah, this is not worth wasting people's time over. So this is the Neo Genesis set, which I would love to complete, but it's incredibly hard to find these cards, and even harder to find people willing to trade them, especially the big ones like Lugia and Ampharos and stuff like that. Basically everything in the set. Typhlosion, oh man, I'm looking forward to getting that, if I ever get it. Probably going to have to buy it. Like I said, it's very hard to find people who are willing to trade for these. Most of my cards that I've gotten over the years have come from one of 2 places. The first and most important is my local Pokemon League. If you're able to, I highly recommend going to a Pokemon League. It's just so fun. You get to chat about everything Pokemon, trading card game, video games, whatever, with other people who are just as enthusiastic about it as you are. And what's even better is, for my league at least, there are people with old cards. Like, I think this entire page, everything you see here, was traded to me by people who just had them in their collection for years and years and years. So, yeah, it's a great way to get old cards, and in particular new ones too, because usually leagues are where people go to test new decks and stuff like that. So we're almost done with Neo Genesis here, actually. So this is going to be a much shorter video than yesterday. Anyway, so ending up here with the rest of the trainers. This is actually a Japanese Moo Moo milk. It was banned in English because it looks like Sintra is suckling off of nipples. It's a pail, but it looks that way. I have the real one behind this. It's in the sleeve. It's just, see yesterday's video for more information, but I do have the English one. I just like the Japanese one better. Then, of course, getting into the energy here, ending with those energy there, and going into Neo Discovery. Sorry, let me get more comfortable. There we go. May not have been too good, though. As you can see, these rings are, I'm not even doing anything, and they are pulling themselves apart. Just because I think I have gone far beyond the weight limit for this kind of binder. You know, pages of cardboard is a whole lot heavier than just pages of pages. of letter pages. So, paper pages, that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, we're into the non-holo rares now. As you can see, I'm missing quite a few holos and non-holo rares from this set. However, I do have a complete common and uncommon and trainer set. Of all the sets that I've showed off so far, let me get that a little not warped. Sorry, let me try to fix this. Sorry, this binder is so big, I really have to be careful of how I hold it. What was I saying? Oh yeah, for all the sets that I've showed off, I have complete common and uncommon sets at least, except for Neo Genesis. Still working on that one. I think that's probably... Oh, my goal is just, you know, to get every single card in existence, but I try to make smaller goals because that seems to be a lot easier. Like, I'll make a mental note of what particular cards I'm missing from a particular set, or a particular part of the set. For example, in this set, I knew I was missing this Ammonite for the longest time. This particular Ammonite, I memorized the picture in my head of what it looked like, and checked everyone's trade binders and stuff like that at League and online, and finally I found someone who had it. Whereas if I was just, like, oh, I don't know if I'm missing that or not, then I probably would have assumed I had it, and then gone home and realized, oh, I didn't have it. And if you think I'm going to haul this heavy binder to League, you got another thing coming. This thing honestly weighs 20 pounds, and I have 2 binders this big. So anyway, we're into the Neo Revelation set. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. On this page, I only have 1 holo Delibird. And over here I have one holo Porygon 2, Aerodactyl, and Entei are non-holo rares. I'm missing a lot from this set. I don't have a common and uncommon set. I don't think I have another common and uncommon set from here on out until maybe Call of Legends. So just let that sink in. Anyway, so almost done here. Do have a few complete pages all over the place though, which I count as a very big accomplishment. Especially for these older sets. I mean, Neo Revelation, it's really hard to find cards from this set because right around here is when they stopped making Pokemon cards as much as they did before. You know, there were 10, 11 printings of base set, but for Neo Revelation there were only 7 or 8, which was still a lot, don't get me wrong, it just wasn't as much, so it's harder to find these sets. And also because, for the most part, collectors just stopped getting these sets, and players just weren't that big to begin with at this point in time. I do have one Shining from this set, Shining Magikarp. Fortunate enough to trade that with a friend from League. His name is Ethan. I have shown him off in several of my videos. He is responsible for many of the big cards in my set. Missing Shining Gyarados, of course. Hopefully I'll get that sometime. And here we go, Neo Destiny. Let's see. Nothing to show off on this page, just 2 holos, Dark Crobat and Dark Donphan. And 1 holo on this page, Dark Azumarill, and Dark Magcargo's non-holo rare. In Neo Destiny especially, everything is very sporadic. Like 3 cards on this page, 4 cards on this page. And I'm trying to show them off as efficiently as possible, but frankly, this camera just does not do these cards justice. It's I would really need to flip it on end like this in order to show everything off, and that's just not efficient because, you know, computer screens are they're horizontal, not vertical. So, in order to really appreciate these cards and not feel claustrophobic while looking at them, you're going to have to see them in person, which is unfortunate. And you're just going to have to take my word on it. These are the only 3 cards on this page. It's not worth going up there to show off blank stuff, and I just did it anyway. Whereas on the next page, that's a complete page. Like I said, I have many sets where I'm missing. Well, especially EX series, where I'm missing half the set or more, and yet I still have a complete page or 2. So that's pretty awesome. I think my immediate goal is to try to make sure that I have over half of every single set. And for many sets, that's incredibly hard to do, especially stuff like the E-Series set. You know, I said first that I'd get a Skyridge box. Turns out those are way beyond my price range. Then I promised an Aquapolis box. And that's not going to happen because, unfortunately, there's only one on the whole internet, and it's sold by a shop called ToyWiz.com. And every single rating I have seen of them is a bad rating, so I just don't trust them. Which means, you know, if that's the case for me, by the way, I do have one Shining from this set. Shining Noctowl. That's pretty cool. And then on the Legendary Collection, which is so sporadic. I'm just going to show off each individual card, basically. So, Dark Raichu holo, Dark Muck holo. So, if it's hard enough for me to find a single booster box of those E-Series sets, just imagine, you know, how few there really are in the whole world. Even people who sit on them for a while before opening them. And thus that there are so few cards out there from those sets for me to go after and to get. So, long story short, the E-Series is probably going to be the series that's going to be the hardest for me to get the cards from, and the early EX series. Everything else has actually turned out to be very easy. Diamond and Pearl on is basically everyone has cards from that because that's about when players really began to heavily indulge themselves in it. The reverse holos from this set are so eye-catchy. Anyway, so E-Series is definitely going to be hardest for me to get. In fact, tomorrow I'll be showing off my current E-Series sets, and yeah. So you'll see how sporadic mine really is, and how big those sets really are. It's basically the equivalent of having to collect an entire set just to get half of one E-Series set, and I'll explain in full tomorrow. Anyway, we're finishing up my current Legendary Collection here. Reverse Holo Potion Energy. We got Challenge and Bill and finally Potion. And that's my VS series, which has remained unchanged since last time. So if you want to figure out anything about my EX series sets, then just I'm sorry, my VS series set, then just look for that video on my YouTube page. Anyway, going to end with Shining Noctowl. If you made it to the end, please comment Shining Noctowl at the bottom of this video. Tomorrow I will be showing off my current E-Series collection. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more.